Hey readers, thanks for tuning in to Books in the Park. I had a great week reading, and I hope you did too. So let's get walking. So what did I finish this week? I finished The Bourne Identity. I know I mentioned it last week. It was a mixed bag for me, I think. The things that I liked about it, one, I enjoyed the relationship between Jason Bourne, who's the main character, and Marie, who's his love interest. For those of you who have seen the movie, you'll have a very particular idea of what that relationship looks like. It's completely different in the book. The motivation for her to go on this adventure with him, for her to be, his love interest, or for him to be her love interest, it's very different. And in fact, the entire book is very different from the movie. If you've seen the movie, the character names, so the characters are the same, but really from the first chapter, first two chapters, it feels like more of an echo. The movie feels more of an echo of the book rather than sort of a copy of it. They're two completely different. The movie could be a different book with a different story. So it's that much different. Now, as someone who liked the movies, like I saw the movies, I enjoyed them. I still enjoyed the book. So it's definitely, you can definitely like both. But the action, it's, obviously the action is more spread out. It's a little bit more, I don't want to call it a slow burn because that's not exactly right. But it is a little, the action is a little bit more drawn out. There's, there are scenes of intense action, and then there are build-up scenes, which I enjoy. That said, it did, maybe the last 100 pages, I started to feel like the book should have been over. It just felt a little bit long in the end. And I don't know if that was my expectations. I know I went into it thinking that it was just going to be a fun, entertaining read that I was going to get through real quick. And, I don't know, maybe that's me. But in the end, it just didn't feel like that. It felt a little long. And at the end, I'm not sure if I'm going to read the rest of the series. And if I do, I think it might end up being a situation where it would be great on audiobook to listen to in the car or listen while I'm cooking dinner or whatever it might be. But we'll have to wait and see. But I tentatively enjoyed it, with the caveat that it did feel in the end a little long. So what am I reading? Well, I'm still reading Ancestor's Tale. Haven't really picked it up since last week, but I think it's just going to be one of those books that whenever I kind of feel like reading a few chapters, I'll read a few chapters, and if I don't, it's no big deal. It's something I enjoy, but it's not necessarily something that I'm coming to for, entertainment. It's just when I feel like it. Also, I'm reading a book called The Dispossessed, and this is part of actually an online book club that I joined, based on somebody who I follow on YouTube, whose channel I enjoy, is a philosophy teacher, and I just was impressed with the channel. Mentioned he was starting a book club. I follow him on Substack. I figured, hey, why not? I've never read the author. It is a science fiction book, which I like, so why not give it a try? So far, I'm like 4 chapters in. I enjoy it. It's very different from any other kind of sci-fi book that I've read before, but I'm enjoying it very much, and I look forward to talking about it more in the future once I finish it. But it will be one that I'm reading for a few weeks because I'm going to follow along with the rest of the group, and I think we're doing like maybe 3 chapters a week or 3 chapters every 5 days or something like that. So it'll take me a couple weeks to finish, but can't wait to talk about it in more depth once I'm done. Well, in addition to finishing a book and having a couple books that I'm working on, I also was lucky enough to buy a couple of books. So, first up, Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but Shawshank Redemption is one of my favorite all-time movies. Came out in maybe the early 90s. Morgan Freeman, Tim Robbins, a great movie, one that I've watched over and over and never gets old. So beautiful, and just a great story. And I've always known that it was based on a book, but I kind of forgot about it until I started reading Stephen King. I read a Stephen King book last year, 11/22/63, and then a couple weeks ago I talked about another Stephen King book, and so it kind of ignited this idea that maybe I should give the Shawshank Redemption a try. So it's a short one; it's like less than 100 pages, but I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be the next one that I start. It's just kind of going to be one of those ones I think that I'm going to sit down and just read it all the way through. So really excited about that one. And then the other one that I got was Narcissus and Goldman by Hermann Hesse. And yes, that's two Hermann Hesse books for me in back-to-back weeks that I've talked about. Last week I talked about finishing Damien, which has inspired me to revisit Narcissus and Goldman. It was really the first, I think, book that I ever really impacted my life. I read a lot of books before that, but none that made such a big difference on me. I read it when I was in junior in high school, maybe a senior in high school, and absolutely loved it, and has really been the book that all other books aspire to be in my mind. So looking forward to reread it and see if I have a different perspective on it now later in life. So stay tuned for that. Well, that's it for today, readers. Thank you for tuning in to Books in the Park. Let me know what you're reading down below in the comments. Like and subscribe. Happy reading.